Hello, everybody, and a very good new year to all of you. There are lots of things, of course, that we still have to think and talk about, but I didn't want to start the new year with one of those serious subjects. Let me instead tell you a story, a true story, and I'm sure you'll find out why I think you will enjoy this story later. In October, I had passed 2 weeks in Venice. As I always do, I go to a language school daily. And then after the 2 weeks on a Saturday, I wanted to take the night train home to Germany. Because about 2 years ago, I decided that in Europe, ways are short and there's no reason to take planes anymore for the environment. I had treated myself to a sleeping car department and was happily almost 10 o'clock at night, and I was happily arranging my things in the for two people compartment, waiting for the strange, unknown second woman to come, when a couple comes instead, maintaining that this compartment was their compartment. The conductor quickly found out that, yes, it was their compartment, and my bed I had reserved 1 day before. Now, don't ask me where I made the mistake. What can you do? So, the complete sleeping car, fully booked. Also, what they seem to call that couchette, where you have 4 or 6 people in one department, but still you have a kind of bed for yourself. Everything fully booked. So the conductor, oh, by the way, I now know why the conductor is called a conductor. The young woman conducted me to the ordinary wagon of the train, still standing in Venice, of course. You know, one of those old-fashioned compartments, 3 people sitting on one side and 3 people sitting opposite. And of course you sit. And you know, spend the night sitting. I'm too old for that. So I was rather depressed about my mistake and of the prospect of having to sit through the night in this train. Okay, so the conductor conducts me to this compartment in which there was one young man, very young man, in his mid-20s, sitting there already. Of course, we came to talk. We started in English, and then when very quickly I found out that he was Turkish, I told him that I had been learning Turkish for longer than I cared to admit, and we had an almost 2-hour lovely conversation in Turkish while the train was rattling around through the night. Then, after it was nearing midnight, and then I said to the young man, I would now like to go to bed, to go to sleep, rather. It wasn't really a bed there. Go to sleep. And the young man got up immediately and rearranging his things, and I only understood the next day that he was making ready politely to leave the compartment to the old woman alone. I didn't understand that. So while he was rearranging his things, I said, you have much more experience in spending nights in this kind of compartment, so what is your suggestion? I suggest you take these 3 seats and I take these 3 seats. And I remember clearly he turning around, looking at me, rather surprised, saying something like, you suggest that and I still didn't realize. And I said, yes, of course. Or have you got a better suggestion? So the 2 of us spent the night together. You know what I mean. He lying there, I lying here, and in the night crossing the Alps. And we slept as well as you can sleep on these, very narrow things. The next morning, We arrived in Munich, changed trains together, exchanged addresses, and, you know, we have since met already. I have been to Istanbul not very long ago to partake in another language course in Istanbul, in Turkish, of course, and we had dinner together, he and I. So, why am I telling you this? There we were, and apparently we had nothing in common. He, very young, looking towards more or less his whole life in front of him. I, quite old, mostly looking back at what has already been my life. He, a young man. I, an old woman. He from Turkey, I from Germany. Different mother tongues too, totally different looks. And yet, we spent this night together, and it was a lovely night. So what did we have in common? Humanity, our shared humanity. And I would like to make you, if ever anything like that happens to you, if you meet somewhere, no matter what sex that person has, what age that person has, what language that person speaks, what color of skin, what color of hair, no matter. If it's a nice person, spend a good time with him or her and stress our joint humanity. That is what I would like to stress to you at the beginning of this new year. And one last sentence, you know, my friends have been telling me that at this point in my videos, I should absolutely ask you please to subscribe. Well, you will have noticed that I have never yet done that. Frankly, I am embarrassed for doing so, and always have been, which is why I don't do it. But now the new year brings new decisions, doesn't it? And so here you go. For the first time, if you enjoyed my videos, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed other videos, look at other videos of mine, and yes, subscribe to it if you enjoy what I have to tell you. And a lovely 2023 I wish to all of you. See you next time.